All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are putting together the ultimate guide for anyone who wants to dive into the world of decentralized finance with their Ledger wallet. We're going to map out the whole journey, right from getting your funds ready to actually earning some yield out there on the frontier.
So let's get right into it, because this is the big question, right? You've got your Ledger, you're comfortable using places like Coinbase or Kraken, but what's next? How do you jump into the wild world of DeFi to earn some yield without, messing something up? Well, that's exactly what we're here to do. Bridge that gap and show you the way with your Ledger leading the charge.
Okay, here's our game plan. We'll start with why you'd even want to leave the comfort of centralized finance. Then we'll cover funding your Ledger, picking the right Layer 2 highway, finding some great Ledger-friendly apps, learning the skills you need to succeed, and finally, how to stay safe out there. All right, Section 1, your DeFi frontier awaits. We're talking about moving from those centralized cities to the DeFi homestead. So let's set the scene. Think of places like Coinbase as these big, convenient cities. Everything's there for you. But DeFi is like the open frontier. It's wild, but it's full of opportunity. So why would you even leave the city?
Well, here's the deal. It really boils down to two things: higher potential yield and you're in complete control. It's the difference between renting an apartment and owning your own land and building your own house. You're the homesteader. With your Ledger, you hold the keys, not some company. And that self-custody unlocks all these new ways to earn that you just can't find in the old system.
Okay, time for our first real practical step. Section 2, funding your ledgers securely. We've got to pack our toolkit for the journey. A pioneer doesn't leave without supplies, right? For us, that means getting our crypto off of an exchange like Coinbase or Kraken, or maybe from another wallet you have, and getting it safely onto our ledger.
Look, the easiest and safest way to do this is just a simple transfer. You find your receive address in Ledger Live, you copy it, you go to Coinbase or wherever you're sending from, you paste it in, and you hit send. It's really that simple. It's like you're moving your own money from the bank's vault to your personal safe at home. But seriously, triple check that address before you confirm.
And this is so important to understand. There are two ways people think about moving wallets, but they are worlds apart. A simple transfer, what we just talked about, is like moving your cash to a new safe. Easy, secure. But importing a seed phrase? Oh man, that's like handing over the master key to your entire life to a new system. You should almost never do that. For what we're doing, getting set up for DeFi, a simple transfer is the only way to fly, period.
All right, our funds are packed and they're safe on our Ledger. Now what? We got to pick our route. And listen, we are not about to take the slow, expensive, traffic-jammed dirt road that is the Ethereum mainnet. No way. We're looking for the super highways of crypto. We're talking about Layer 2s. So what the heck is a Layer 2? The best way to think about it is like an express lane on a freeway. It runs right alongside the main highway, that's Ethereum, but it's way faster and way cheaper. It processes a ton of transactions on its own and then just sends a little summary back to the main chain. The result for you? You save a ton of time and, more importantly, a ton of money on those crazy gas fees.
And here are two of the best highways out there. And the best part is, they are super Ledger-friendly. You've got Polygon and Arbitrum. Just look at these numbers. We're talking about speeds that are thousands of times faster than Ethereum. And costs? We're talking pennies. Literally a cent or two per transaction. For exploring DeFi, this is a total game changer. These are the routes you want to take.
Okay, so let's recap. We've got our money on our Ledger, we've picked a fast, cheap L2 highway, we've arrived at the frontier. Now the fun really starts. It's time to check out the local towns and businesses, the decentralized apps, or dApps, where you can actually put your crypto to work.
Out here on the frontier, you'll find all sorts of places. You've got your marketplaces, we call those decentralized exchanges or DEXs. You've got your banks, which are lending protocols. You've even got these, robot financial advisors. They're called aggregators and optimizers, and they automatically find the best rates for you. And the craziest part? There's no CEO, no board of directors, it's all just code. And here's the best news of all. Your Ledger is basically a universal passport for this new world. Through the Ledger Live app, you can securely connect to tons of these dApps. We're talking big, reputable names like 1inch for swapping tokens or Aave for lending. You can do all of this and your precious private keys never, ever leave the safety of your hardware wallet.
All right, Section 5, Mastering DeFi Homesteading Skills. It's not enough just to show up. To really make it out here, you gotta learn some skills. So let's dig into the two biggest ways you can actually make your crypto work for you:
lending and providing liquidity.
First up is lending. This is probably the most straightforward way to earn some yield. You take your stablecoins like USDC or DAI and you deposit them into a protocol like Morpho or Compound. That's it. You're basically becoming the bank. People borrow from that pool and you earn interest. Think of it like a high-yield savings account, but on the blockchain.
Now, the next skill is a little more advanced. It's called providing liquidity. Instead of just lending your money out, you're actually becoming part of the market infrastructure. You take two different tokens, say ETH and USDC, and you put them into a pool on a DEX. Now, when people want to trade between those two tokens, they trade against your pool. And for providing that service, you get a little piece of the action, a fee from every single trade.
Okay, but there's a catch, and it has a weird name: impermanent loss. This is a super important risk you have to understand if you're going to be a liquidity provider. In simple terms, if the price of one of your tokens goes way up or way down compared to the other one, you might find that you would have made more money by just holding the two tokens in your wallet instead of putting them in the pool.
Now, here's a great way to wrap your head around it. You're not really losing your initial money. It's more like you're just not gaining as much as you could have. It's an opportunity cost. The whole idea is that the trading fees you earn are supposed to be more than enough to make up for this potential downside, but you absolutely have to know it exists. And that brings us to our final and maybe most important section: navigating frontier risks safely. Because let's be real, the frontier is exciting, but it can be dangerous. Your ledger is your shield, but it is not an invincible fortress, and you need to know the difference.
First things first, let's talk about what your ledger does brilliantly. As their own support team says, when you use it, your private keys, the actual thing that proves you own your crypto, are always stored securely, offline on that little device. They never get exposed to the internet. That's the whole point. It's the foundation of your security.
But, and this is the part you really need to hear, your ledger can't read minds. It can't tell if a dApp is good or evil. All it does is sign the transactions that you approve. So if you accidentally connect to a scammy website and you approve a malicious transaction, you're basically telling your ledger, hey, please sign this document that lets this bad guy take all my money. The ledger will do what you tell it to do.
So here's your checklist. This is what you need to burn into your brain. First, always double-check that you're using a reputable, well-known dApp. Second, read every single detail on your ledger's little screen before you hit that approve button. Understand what permissions you're giving away. And finally, just remember, your ledger protects your keys, but you are in charge of your actions. You are the last line of defense.
And that's our guide. You've left the city, you've funded your wallet, you've cruised down the L2 highways, and you've learned the basic skills of a DeFi homesteader. You have the map, you have the tools, and you understand the risks. This decentralized world is wide open, and with your ledger in hand, you are ready to go explore it on your own terms. So the only question I have for you is, what are you going to build out there?